What up, y'all? Speak on it is live. It's your host Dom and Biv. Make sure that y'all go ahead and let people know that we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Um, we got a couple things that we want to discuss with y'all this morning. We got draft coming up, so we're going. Yeah, I mean, reveal a mock draft. Yeah, I mean, we got so we got a list. The thing that provoked me, that got me to thinking about it was Steph Curry, Skip Bayless, um, had the top 20 list, and he was just rattling off names, bro. And he was like, man, not I posted in the chat, but he was like, man, Steph not even in the top 20. And then he named like five other people that he had before Steph. Like, dang, that's 25 people that he got before Steph. So I was like, man, I gotta see where my man Steph fall on the top 10 list. I know he probably not in your top 10. I know he probably not in a couple people top 10. But let's see where he fall on my list. Let's see where he fall on my list. Um, then we got, a couple of things. Social justice stuff that we want to discuss. So let's jump right into it. Um, this is a list show. Let's start there. The list shows, man, they take forever. Let's start right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. I gave like five honorable mention because for a reason. I gave like five honorable mention for a reason. So my number 15 or my honorable mention. I ain't going my honorable mention. I'm gonna
Number
give
15.
I'm gonna give you five honorable mention. Um, I got D Wade in my honorable mention. I got Dirk in my honorable mention. Um, I got KG in my honorable mention. I got um Steph in my honorable mention. Ooh, and I got um AI. I don't know if I say AI, but those are my top five lists that not the all time greats, but this is my top five list. Of course, y'all know how I feel about two, three of them, four of them people. All five of my people in there. Well, besides KG, um, but Steph, D Wade, Dirk, and AI are all four of my favorite players of all time. And of course, I don't have them on a top 10 list because I want to be realistic. But I do think that my guy, Light Skin Assassin, can crack the top 10. I also think that he can crack. Um, he can get as high as he wants. You know what I mean? But that's my list. I wanted to start out with my top five honorable mention because I wanted since Steph was the one that drove the list, I wanted to show my man love. He's not in the top 10, but he's not outside the top 20 like Skip Bayless is talking. Like Skip Bayless is talking.
I don't know, man. It's been a lot of basketball players,
I know, man. You're old school. You like Skip.
and it's not even really about the old school. You know what I mean? With Steph, for me, it's just that he's still playing. You know what I mean? Where you're going to be comparing what other guys did, you're still comparing what he's doing. It's kind of like with the Jordan LeBron thing as well. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you one thing: if they get to this eighth seed, he needs to be in the MVP conversation. That's for darn sure.
I'm gonna say this, and then like I said, we can go listen. If because I think he'll get the eighth. I also think he'll get. I think he'll get the sixth. Just with the schedule, their schedule that their schedule is light. They got New Orleans twice. They got OKC twice. I think they got Minnesota in there. They got Sacramento without Darren Fox. They got a cupcake schedule. Portland got a crazy schedule. So if they get the six, I think he should win it. Just based off of who he has around him. He hasn't. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna say he has no NBA talent. He has no because he got Draymond with him, but he has a lot less talent than people think around
Yeah, he doesn't have a second alpha on his team.
him. Not at all. At least scoring wise, Draymond I could think could be an alpha. Yeah, I mean personality, but scoring wise, Kelly Oubre, boy, I don't know. He hit him. Boy, he come off the bench now. Like so, yeah. What he's doing right now, this tear that he on, it's the greatest tear he's been on in his career.
He's been
But
phenomenal. He's been
but he got
phenomenal.
no help. Got nobody else. So yeah, kicking off my number 10 on my all-time great list. I got my man Shaq in the top 10. The Diesel, yeah, one time MVP, 3-time Finals MVP. One of the greatest centers of all time. Got my man Shaq.
So you got Shaq at 10?
Shaq at 10. That's saying a lot. Yeah. Shaq at 10.
Well, I ain't got no problem with that because I got Shaq at 10 as well.
You got Shaq at 10?
Yep, I got Shaq at 10 as well. It was tough. It's really just.
There we go.
It's really just about, your personal preference. You know what I mean? But I got Shaq at 10. I don't think he's. Shaq's dominance is hard to measure, in my opinion. Just because people will say other guys were more skilled than him, even though Shaq, if you really watch, Shaq was real skilled. You know what I mean? And then he was just so much bigger and just better than other guys that it almost looked like it wasn't fair majority of his career. So, and then I'm just being real. Like we all know his numbers should have been greater than they were as well. So I think that's another reason why people hold Shaq probably a little lower than he probably should be, just because he didn't do what he could have done, and that's saying a lot.
I think that for him to do what he's been doing, out of shape, stuff like that. And again, not saying that he wasn't. I don't think he was in. He didn't. He played himself to shape. Like you said, but he was just dominant. He was just a dominant force. And like you said, being skilled, Shaq. I seen Shaq grab it, push it. You know what I mean, off the rebound, and push it coast to coast. I think he averages. Yeah, I mean, close to 4 assists a game. Yeah, I mean, a couple blocks. Like Shaq was real dominant, and a lot of people don't really understand that. For me, again, Shaq is who I would have as my center. If I'm picking my center as the greatest center of all time, if I'm picking my center to build my team around, he would be the guy that I pick my as my center to build around. It would be Shaq. My number 10. I got Timmy D. My number 9.
Hey, at number 9, you got Tim at number 9.
I got Tim at number 9. A lot of people sleep on Tim. It's debatable and argue. You can argue he was the greatest. He is the greatest before LeBron. He's the greatest of that era. What up, bro? What up, JT? Listen, I'm talking about Timmy right now. He get happy about that, but Tim Duncan, what he's done, man. His numbers don't jump off the page, which off the page. Actually, give you 19 and 11, but his impact is like a Bill Russell impact. He's just winning. Tim Duncan legit probably should have 6 rings. Let's just be real. Ray Allen stole one from me. Ray Allen stole a ring from Tim Duncan. I'm grateful for it because my man D Wade got his ring, but he stole the ring from Tim Duncan. He should be 6-0 in the finals. He should be on the Jordan run, 6-0 in the finals. So yeah, they had the arena sealed off. They had it marked off with tape because they thought it was over. Ray Allen stole it from me. What he has done, man, in the era, like I said, with Kobe, with Shaq, to have 6 of those things, and for not 6, 5 of them, and for it to be over the course of his career. Tim Duncan, the greatest power forward of all time.
I'm with you. I got him higher though, so I'll talk about him when I get to him. At number 9, and I'm probably gonna get some flack for this, but I don't really care. I got Bird.
Ooh, Larry.
I got Bird at 9, and it's nothing against him. It's just that I just feel like the guys that I have ahead of him were just better, maybe better longer. You know what I mean? Larry's career was kind of cut short because of injuries. So, but Bird was Bird. You know, he could do anything and everything. He wasn't the greatest athlete, but he made up for that with skill and IQ. So I got Larry Legend at 9. So
yeah, Larry Legend at 8. Like you said, I think, and people like defense. He don't get enough credit for defeat on the defensive side. He's 6-time All NBA defensive player. You know what I mean? He was a 3-point knock. He knocked down threes before. Yeah, I mean, the 3 became relevant. Like giving you 24 a game, giving you 10 rebounds a game, giving you 6 assists a game. Like you're talking about LeBron before LeBron. That's who Larry was. I saw the post yesterday. I was going to say something to you, but they said the post was like, in their prime, who would you take, Larry Bird or Klay Thompson?
Seriously?
What?
That's not even a question.
I said, who wrote this? Who asked this question?
Somebody with too much time on their hands.
Larry Bird is a top 3 small forward of all time, taking nothing away from Klay. But Larry Bird carried the team. He carried the team to championships. Klay, I love you dearly, bruh. Bruh, I think when I did my list, I think I had you at my number 10 shooting guard of all time. I mean, and I got clowned for that. You see how much respect I got for you? You see how much respect I got for you? Right. He's not in the same class as Larry Bird, man.
No.
Not in the same class as Larry Bird.
Only in shooting. That's it.
Like you said, only in shooting. Larry Legend is a legend for a reason, bro. He's a legend for a reason. And again, the reason that he's at 8 is because his career was cut short, in my opinion. I think if he had a longer career, he didn't have those back injuries, he could have more championships. That's how dominant, how great he was. And that Celtics team, he was the catalyst. He was the guy on that Celtics team. A team full of greats. He was head and shoulders a clear-cut guy on that Celtics team. Larry Bird, my number 8.
And here's where it really start getting. Here's where it's really start getting dicey.
I swear, another thing, you better not say. You better not say his name. Somebody's name this high. You better not say his name.
This is where it starts really getting weird for me, man. All right. And it's not, it's just that I think I like other guys' games better and I seen them. So
Okay, all right,
I got Wilt.
all right, cool, all right.
I got Wilt. I got Wilt at 8. Only because I didn't really get to see, I didn't get to see his dominance. I can look at numbers and be like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But I would like to see really him do the things that he did. But I'm not gonna disrespect Wilt and say he's not a top 10 player. I want to put him higher because of the numbers, but the other guys I actually seen them play against other competition versus just seeing numbers. And I really only highlight you see is him versus Russell. That was like I can't keep basing it just off of that. You know what I mean? But I got Will at 8, and it's only because I didn't get the chance to see Will.
I got you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I thought you were gonna say somebody else. I was gonna walk over. I was gonna say JT, you come on the show and finish with Biv, man. I thought you were gonna say somebody else. But listen, Bill Russell, same reason. He's number 7. Like you said, didn't really see much of him. You can only fathom the greatness and the dominance that he has. I like that he played in that era where it was full of racism. Yeah, I mean, he still dominated in that era. Based off of everything that he had to go through. It's a black man in a predominantly white sport. Yeah, I mean, in the 60s. And to continue, and again, I know people won't say the team that he has around him. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of Hall of Famers, yada yada yada. But again, like I just said with Larry, he was the clear cut best player on that team. Yeah, I mean, his dominance on defense is like I said about Tim Duncan. Just their numbers don't wow you. They don't jump off the page for you, but they're winning. The way they win, they just go about winning, and they just win. He did that with 2 different teams. I mean, because I think, yes, sir, but yep, Bill Russell was a leader. What you see, like I said, with him and Tim, just leaders. They're not about stats. They're about winning. And that's why I think that they are all-time greats. That's why we have them in these lists.
With you. We at 8, right?
7.
7. 7. I got Dream. Olajuwon, he's my favorite center of all time. He's my favorite center of all time. I got him as the number 2 center all time, but he's my favorite center of all time. Like his dominance at both ends of the floor, and I think his legacy of what he was able to do after retiring and being able to still have an influence on the game with the younger generation coming up and going to him for post, you know what I mean, for post advice, you know what I mean, getting their skills together, their footwork together, because his footwork was second to none, in my opinion, in the post. And he was just dominant. And when you consider that, I don't think he started playing basketball until he was like 16, 17 years old. Like, absolutely crazy to think about. Like, crazy to think about. But what he was able to accomplish, and the reason why I separate him from the other guys of that era is because he took advantage of the 2 years that Jordan missed. Everybody had a shot, and he said, no, I'm going to go and get both of these while Mike not here.
And was he 2 for 2? Or is he
I think he lost. I think he lost one in the 80s.
In the 80s.
So I think he lost one in the 80s to the Celtics.
So to say and to think that he was only good and only took advantage when Jordan wasn't there.
Oh no.
Jordan was there in the 80s.
No, he was dominant. Kim Olajuwon was dominant in the 80s. And the thing is, like, him and Ralph Sampson were Tim Duncan and David Robinson in the 80s. Mm-hmm. But the only difference is Ralph Sampson ended up getting hurt and he wasn't able to continue on. But the Rockets continued to be competitive until the early 90s when they started to really get the guys in around Hakeem. And then they was able to get those 2 rings You know, everybody wants to know what would have happened if they had met up with the Bulls in the finals. We'll never know.
Never know. Number 6, Wilt, which you talked about. Um, I, I know we talk about the highlights and everything like that, man, but just the numbers jump off, man. Like his numbers just jump off at you. It's 30 and 25. Like he gave you 30 points per game, 25 rebounds a game, and they didn't record blocks back then, which is crazy. He gave you, I think he gave you like 5 assists a game. Like people marvel at Jokic and what he's doing right now from the center position, but I think they forget what Wilt did at the center position. They told that man, all you do is score. You're gonna lead the league in scoring. That's what you're gonna do. So Wilt said, okay, I'm gonna lead the league in assists next year. That man led the league in assists the next year with 8 or 9 assists a game. Like from the center position in that era. So we talk about skill, a skilled center. What was that? And he gave you 30 a night, and he gave you 25 rebounds a game, and he blocked shots. Like, I know we marvel about what Jokic is doing, but Wilt was doing this while playing defense also, and give you 25 a night. And no knock at my man Jokic, because Jokic doing this thing. But I think for people to be like, well, he's the first center to do X, Y, and Z. He's the center that's giving you. He's a center giving you 8, 9 rebound assists a night. Wilt did that already. Don't get talked about. Wilt, my number 6.
I'm with you. Sorry, everybody.
Please don't do it.
My number 6. I got Magic.
Oh, all right. Woo.
I got Magic at 6. And it's no Magic to me is one of those guys that I think we kind of get mesmerized by the name and the smile and everything. But people don't criticize Magic Johnson at all. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying criticize, but they don't view him differently the way they do other people. Like they try to diminish what Kobe did because of Shaq. They try to diminish what everybody else did. But I rarely hear people try to diminish what Magic did playing with Kareem and Worthy. Like he had squads.
He had like 2 first round picks on the team.
Like he had squads. Like Bob McAdoo was coming off the bench at one point. Like Jamal Wilkes, like he had squads. Like Magic had squads. Now he was clearly either 1 or 2 on the team, no doubt about that. But I just don't hear people criticize or try to diminish what he accomplished. But Magic was Magic, and he was to me. He's probably the GOAT of the 80s. I'll give him that. I'll give him the GOAT of the 80s.
Okay.
I'll give him the GOAT of the 80s. I feel like he ran it. I feel like he ran the 80s. I feel like Cat passed the torch to him. So
I think you have to it has to be.
It's either him or Bird. It's either him or Bird. And if you say Bird, I will argue. If you say Bird, I will not argue with you.
Yeah, you can't say one without the other.
I won't argue. I'll be like, you know what? You're right. If you say Bird over Magic, I will not argue with you. So, but for me, it's Magic.
I got you. I just think it's 1A, 1B. Can't say one without the other.
Absolutely. They saved it. They saved the NBA.
Look, James just said that. He just said that. Yep. Yeah, you can't have one without the other, man. Again, I know Magic got 5 of them. Bird has 3 of them, but again, that's Bird. He was injured. He had those back injuries, man. I believe if Bird really wasn't injured, no knock to the Pistons. If he wasn't injured, the Pistons probably don't have those 2 championships. In my opinion,
they probably get 1.
Maybe 1. So that'll give Bird 4 of them things. Yeah, man. So yeah, yeah. Bird and Magic, man. They definitely say the NBA, and they were the goats of the '80s. My number, we're at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem. Hakeem, number 5. For everything that we talked about, there was 2 guys that went before Jordan. He was one of them. Yeah, I mean, don't disrespect the bad boys. Listen, no disrespect to the bad boys, but we know the dominance that those Celtics and those Lakers teams had. We know Larry Bird got injured. That's a fact. You know what I mean? A lot of people got injured. Yeah, I mean, for somebody to win championships. I think that the teams that was going up against like monsters was in the '80s. Like every night, Bird and them was gonna go up against a monster. You know what I mean? So was the Magic and them. Their teams were just better than everybody's. But they was gonna go up against. You know what I mean, I don't think that they had cakewalks to win their championships.
There wasn't much competition.
Who was cakewalks when they? But I'm talking when they met in the finals.
Oh, I'm talking about. I thought you meant to get there. I was gonna say to get there, it wasn't much competition. But when they got there, yeah, their conference finals and then the NBA finals in the '80s were really stiff competition. But other than that, it wasn't much competition.
I mean, and that's almost that's every era.
It wasn't much competition.
I
disagree with that. I disagree with that.
AFCs out here. AFCs out here, man. Shit, they AFCs for a reason.
Yeah, now, but I remember in certain parts of the 2000s, there were 50 win AFCs in the West. Like it was a gauntlet. You came through there, you earned it. You earned it if you came out the West at one point in time. I remember those in the 2000s. There was 50 win teams not making the playoffs.
Yeah, 2000s, but yeah, 2000s.
So, but the 80s, it was just the Celtics and the Lakers, especially once the Sixers aged. You know what I mean? So
Knicks beat the Heat to make it to the finals. At 99. That was the Latrell Sprewell team. 99. Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you said, Hakeem. The 2 centers went before him. Hakeem was the one that lived up to it, lived up to the billing. He should have went. I think if you of course if you redid the draft, you're gonna pick Jordan first. But would you be mad if you redid the draft and somebody picked Hakeem?
Mm-mm.
Nobody would. If you redid the draft and somebody picked Hakeem over Jordan, nobody'd be mad. He was just dominant. He was that dominant in college. He was dominant from day one in the NBA.
And he went people have to think about he went to college in the same city. Like it was almost like a no-brainer. Like he's been here. The fans already have a relationship with him. It made no sense.
I agree. The Rockets probably still would have picked him, but they had Clyde, right?
No, Portland. That's why Portland didn't pick Jordan because they already had Clyde. So it made sense for them to pick a big to try to pair with him by going to get Sam Bowie. You know what I mean? And people need to do their research on Sam Bowie, though.
That's what I'm gonna say.
At the same time, people need to really do their research on Sam Bowie. He became a bust, but his bust was the Greg Oden bust. It was an injury. It wasn't because he got to the league and he couldn't perform. He got to the league and he was hurt. He literally couldn't get on the floor.
And actually, Sam Bowie actually had good years.
So
it's just that when you compare the people he's sandwiched in between, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. When you're comparing the years that he was the 2 he was sandwiched in between, okay, that's where they're going to say bust status. Sam Bowie wasn't. He wasn't the but. He was good in college. and he just got injured, but he also had good years with Portland. He wasn't trash.
Yeah.
He just went. We went after Hakeem and before Jordan.
Yep, that's it. That's the only reason people knock on him like that.
Yeah.
But where we at? 4, 5. My 5 is Timmy D.
Okay. All right.
I think Tim Duncan gets totally disrespected in regards of GOATs.
I agree.
When you start talking about conversations of GOATs, you never hear his name. And I think it's just because his game was boring. And San Antonio was boring. And he dunked and he just ran back down the court and played defense. And he shot the ball off the backboard. Like, he was boring. But the skill set and the impact was Tim Duncan. Greg Popovich is a great coach, but there's no coincidence that the championship run ended with Tim Duncan career ending. So Tim Duncan, man, his ability to just get guys to play ball around him, man. Like he was just that good. He was just that good. Even at Wake, you think about those Wake Forest teams, man. He was carrying them.
Mm-hmm.
He was carrying them. You know what I mean? The swimmer from the Virgin Islands. You know what I mean? But he was carrying them. Tim Duncan, like you said, is a Ray Allen shot away from being perfect in the finals.
Yep.
Multiple MVPs, multiple finals MVPs. Tim Duncan needs to be respected a lot more when you start talking about the greatest players to ever play this game. His numbers, career-wise, his accomplishments, they rival anyone's.
I agree.
In my opinion, his numbers rival anyone's. So Tim Duncan at 5. And the only reason I have him at 5 is because the other 4 guys are just those guys. So
I think, Jay, I'll answer that question after my list. But I think for me, it will be a Magic Larry type situation for me in the 2000s. I think that's what it will be. But my number 4 is Magic. Five. He got 5 championships. He gave you 20. He gives you 20 and 11 a game, 19 and 11. He just being real, like Magic. I think Magic was ahead of his time as far as the game, the way the game was. You know what I mean? Open floor, space, pace. You see, like if Magic played in this era right now, open floor, space, and pace with the shooters in this era, he might average like 15 for his career. Like 15 assists for his career. Like I get what you're saying earlier when we talk about the team, the players that he had around him. I get it. But he was the engine, man. He was the engine behind those championships. Rookie year, Bray played center when Kareem was out. Oh my God. Is somebody on my list? Is somebody not on my list? And I gotta do. I'm gonna have to do a 1A 1B or a B thing. I just thought of somebody. Somebody just mentioned Kareem. Kareem.
You forgot that.
Kareem. I don't have Kareem on the list, so he gotta be on the list. He with Magic right now. Him and Magic together. They gotta be together. But yeah, Magic was a GOAT, man. I don't have him as the greatest point guard of all time. But the reason I have him on at number 3 is because I want to pay respect where respect is due, and the other one is still playing. pure point guard, I think Magic is the greatest pure point guard of all time. But just by position, I wouldn't put Magic at my number one. But I got Magic as my number 3, along with Kareem, because I forgot about you, Kareem. I'm sorry, Kareem. But yeah, I got Kareem as my number one. They both number 3 for me, or number 4.
Man.
Both number 4 for me.
Number 4 for me. It was tough. It was real tough. I was juggling between these 4. I was really juggling between these 4. But my number 4 for me is gonna be Bron.
Woo! Flip this coin real quick. LeBron at 4.
It's gonna be Bron. And
I was gonna make headline, man.
And again, for me, for the reason why I have Bron at 4 is just because I would take the other 3. You know what I'm saying? If I was to build, if I wanted to build a team around guys, I'd probably pick the other 3 before I pick him. That's it. I'm not going to go into accomplishments. I'm not going to go into failures and nothing like that. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just that if I was starting a franchise, I'd probably pick the other 3 before I picked him. That's it.
I want to say this because we said this. I don't know if we said this on the last show. We said this at our lunch. But we subscribe to multiple GOATs. I'm not one to say somebody's a GOAT over this person's a GOAT. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of these people that we have in our top 10 are GOATs, in my opinion. Change the game one way or another. There's another person that's not even on this list that I didn't even put in my honorable mention, and Oscar O, who I think can be a GOAT as well. But for you to say like LeBron is 4, I know the LeBron Knights, the King's Court out here is yelling blasphemy. You know what I mean? Once your head. You know what I mean? But to say LeBron is 4, again, I think that you can interchange any of these top 4 and have any of them. I think they'll all be on the Mount Rushmore. But I think LeBron is a GOAT. Yeah, I mean, just off of what he does at the game, what he has done in the game, what he continues to do in year 18. So I don't see anything wrong with you having him at 4 because I got him at 3. I got LeBron at 3. And again, I think that he can still climb. Yeah, I mean, I think he can still climb. But LeBron, I saw something today that said, is LeBron still your GOAT? Yeah, I mean, because he switched 3 different teams. Well, he led all 3 of those teams to championships. He's won a championship with all 3 of those teams.
To me, that don't factor in. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Each time he left was an understandable reason to leave. You know what I mean? Even though I felt as though he probably could have won multiple championships in Miami still. But I understood him wanting to leave. He got what he needed from out of Miami. He learned how to win a championship, and he wanted to bring that championship to Cleveland. And he went home and then he did that. And then he left again because he knew the franchise, he knew that organization is going to be running to the ground, like as we see. So to me, him switching teams, him doing whatever he has to do to build the right team around him, I have no problem with it. I have no problem with that. So it's just I'd prefer if I was going to start a franchise, I'd pick the other 3 guys. That was my determining factor for picking between these 4 guys.
I think Cleveland and LA was always the end goal for LeBron. They was always the end goal for LeBron. Going back, winning one for Cleveland, I think is something he always wanted to do for his career. I think finishing his career in LA is something that he always, because he wants to transition into the other side of the other part of his life, which is production, stuff like that. Like he's always wanted to do that business. He's a mogul. That's what he wanted to do. So I think those 2 was always in the end goal. And then he went to go play with his best friends, Dwayne Wade. I mean, that's where they teamed up. You know, Dwayne Wade. I mean, they talked about Chicago, but ultimately it made more sense to go to Miami. So it was either going to be Miami or Chicago, another team that Lingo won. But I think Cleveland and what's the name? The highest he'll ever go is 2. That's debatable, but I can see that
Again,
argument.
that is preference.
I can say, yeah.
If a person has LeBron over Jordan, I'm done arguing about it because LeBron he's phenomenal, man. He's great. Like if somebody says he's LeBron's a GOAT, cool. That should go. LeBron over Jordan, fine. I'm not gonna take LeBron over Jordan. I'm gonna take Jordan over LeBron. But hey, that's your prerogative.
And I know we still got a mock draft, so we're gonna put this thing up, get this thing done. But yeah, look, LeBron, what he's done, man, longevity wise. Like, why do we call Tim Duncan a GOAT? Yeah, I mean, one of the greatest of all time, greatest power forward of all time. It's what he's done over the course of his career. And I know you can talk about he's 5-1. Are we knocking LeBron for making it multiple times? Like, in what world does somebody get knocked down pegs because he's lost multiple finals? He got 4 of them. So what? He lost 6. I mean, he's been there 10 times. Jordan been there 6 times. LeBron doubled him up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm with you. I don't want to keep getting to the debate. Well, he's 6-0. You know what I mean? And LeBron is 4-6. Like what you said. That's cherry picking in my opinion. Now, that's cherry picking. You know what I mean? But my number 2 is Kobe, of course. Late great, closest thing to Jordan. He got knocked for, or he gets knocked incorrectly for playing with Shaq. He gets knocked incorrectly for playing with Shaq. Because you look a little closer to those numbers. Outside of the first one, Kobe was 1A, 1B. Shaq was giving you like 33. Kobe probably giving you 31. Who took over the games when Shaq was out? It was Kobe. My man got 2 jersey numbers retired. He got a whole day named after him in LA. And he did it without Shaq. Like, he's the only superstar that was like, I don't want that guy no more. In this, I don't want that guy no more. I want to win without him because I know if I don't win without him, there will always be a narrative. There will always be this talk that but Kobe has Shaq. For him to have that level of awareness to say, I won 3 with him, but I want to try to win without him. Where he could have easily got the 6 with Shaq. If they put all their pettiness aside, you don't think they could have got the 6 with each other?
Mm-mm.
He got the 5 without him. And Shaq got 1 without him too.
Shaq was near his end after 04. He was done.
Okay. Listen.
He was done after 04.
Listen, I'm with for somebody to say I want to take an all-time great off his team and to go win one. Yeah, I mean, to become an all-time great in your own right, I have to give much respect for that. With that, that's like Scotty saying, you know what, I want Jordan going. I'm gonna try to do it on my own. You know what I mean? That's like yeah, I mean, somebody who played with those caliber players saying, I'm gonna try to do it on my own.
I think I had Kobe at 3. Kobe, people forget. Kobe was in the finals, winning the championship in 2000. I think he was barely 21. Like, barely 21. But he never feared anything. Like, he was airballing game winners. You know what I mean? As a rookie, like dude never shied away from the moment. He never shied away from the opportunity. And then he also, you gotta keep it real. He came in at that era where everybody was labeled the next Jordan. Everybody was labeled the next Jordan. It seemed like every draft, there was somebody in the draft that they were saying this guy is going to be the next Jordan, to the point where certain guys was being nicknamed Baby Jordan and it's different stuff like that. But anyway, Kobe came in through that era and was like, I'm not only gonna take the mantle from MJ, but I'm also, like you said, I'm gonna do it myself. He was fortunate enough that some great minds got him out of Charlotte as well.
Yeah.
He was fortunate enough that some great basketball minds said, let me go ahead and make sure he gets over here to LA. And what I always loved about Kobe was he knew who he was, regardless of who was around him. He knew who he was. And Shaq needed him just as much as he needed Shaq to win those 3 rings. Shaq was just so much more dominant at his position. You had to give him those 3 NBA Finals MVPs. But if you look at Kobe's numbers, he could arguably got it at least 1 or 2 of them himself in that run. But for me, Kobe cemented himself in his run without Shaq, when he was able to take that 08 team with Powell, just getting there from after this, basically right around trade deadline. He took them to the finals, and then they come back 1-2 more. I feel like he solidified himself as a top 5 player of all time.
I agree.
Now my number 2 is Cash, and that's only because I didn't get to see him live. I believe if I seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play live basketball, I'd probably be saying he's the GOAT and he's the best player of all time, and not Michael Jordan. I lived that era and I seen it with my own eyes. Michael Jordan do the things that he done, but for Kareem to be high school dominant, college dominant, and NBA dominant, says it all, man. It says it all, man. Kareem was Kareem, and there's I don't know. I just don't know if you seen him play. I get why you would say that he's better than Jordan. I get it. The numbers, if you look up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's numbers and career accomplishments, he is the GOAT. He is. The only reason I'm gonna pick Jordan over him is because I've seen Jordan. That's it.
Yep. Longevity wise, over the course of his career, he got 6 championships. I think he only lost one of those things. I want to say he has.
Nah, he lost a few. He lost a few.
Okay.
Because he lost a couple.
That's right.
He lost a couple. He lost a couple to the Bird.
How many Magic?
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to say he got 5 MVPs or something like that. 5 or 6 MVPs, I want to say.
I think he got 6 regular season MVPs. I think that's still the record.
Jordan got 5 of them. He got 6 of them. He got 6 rings. Again, no knock to the GOAT to Jordan, because we both know Jordan. We both got Jordan at number 1. But when they start talking about debates, James gonna say it. Everybody gonna start saying it, and you gonna say it. It's probably an argument that you'll make. But he's 6-0 in the finals. I got you. He's 6-0 in the finals.
That's never gonna be my argument. I don't even have to bring. For me, it's not about bringing that up. For me, with Jordan, is this. I've seen him do the things that he did. I've seen a lot of it live, the things that he did. But also, we forget how many good guards there were in the 90s. Only because we're comparing them to Michael Jordan. Like Mitch Richmond, Eddie Jones, like there were some Reggie Miller, like there were some really good guards. They just wasn't Mike. And when you start thinking about the best players in that era, they were all bigs. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. For me, Jordan's dominance pretty much while he was in the Chicago Bulls uniform was at both ends of the floor. Multiple all defensive teams, got a defensive player of the year. And again, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, same thing throughout his career. I just didn't see it. That's the only difference. I just didn't see it. I seen Michael do those things with my own eyes. And that's the only reason I'm going to probably pick him over Kareem.
I got you. Real quick before I answer James' question, what do we say to the haters or the people that say, and you talked about it. I think we talked about it last show. We talked about it again when we did our lunch. But what do we say to the people that be like, well, Scottie still went to a conference finals when Jordan wasn't there?
Again, to me, that's more. I think I don't understand how people not that. That's Jordan's. That's the result of playing with Michael Jordan. Because also that same year, Horace Grant, B.J. Armstrong are all-stars. Why? Because they've been working with MJ, and now he's not there. Now they have more opportunities to perform. It wasn't like these guys were was bums. They weren't all-time great. B.J. Armstrong, Horace Grant, not all-time great. Scottie Pippen, all-time great. But I feel as though that team was basically the same team. It was just minus MJ. So you take MJ off, they didn't. Now, if they went off and won an NBA championship without him, you have an argument. They just made the playoffs. Like people act like they went off and won a championship without him. They just made the playoffs without him. And they lost from the second round to the Knicks. And the same guy that they gonna big up was probably the main reason that they didn't win the series. Like Scottie, my favorite player, but you're gonna big up Scottie and his accomplishments and how great of he was on a sidekick to Jordan. But you can't bring up he didn't want to go in the game because Tony got to play Drew up for him. Like, kid, come on, that team was good, but then they don't want to bring up. They don't like to bring up 95 when the team was on borderline making the playoffs, and MJ comes in and pushes them for the last 17 and pushes them to like the 4 seed. Nobody want to talk about that. They don't like to talk about that because that don't help their case. Talk about that. Talk about how the team was trashed the next year, mostly because Scottie was trashed that year. But they don't want to talk about that. 95. They want to talk about 94 when Scottie wins the All-Star Game MVP and the team won 55 games without MJ. Talk about the next year when the team was trash and on the verge of not making the playoffs, and MJ came back to save him. That's why Scottie Pippen was putting his foot up with his J's on, talking about come back because he needed him. But they don't like to talk about that because it don't help their case. Like, stop it, guys.
Now, to answer James' question, who was the GOAT of the 2000s, Timmy or Kobe? To me, you gotta have. To me, my opinion. I know you're probably gonna say Kobe. To me, it's a Magic Bird thing.
Exactly. For me, I would probably say, I'm gonna be honest with myself. If we're gonna talk about the 2000s, I don't know. It's two halves. Because I might say Tim for the first half and then Kobe for the second half of the 2000s. I don't know, but then like Shaq was so dominant in the first half. Like, is he? You know what I mean? But I would probably say Kobe for the 2000s just because he did win 4 rings.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question.
during that time.
Since I got Taman on here, I'm gonna ask a question. The first half of the 2000s, James, close your ears. I know you great, go bananas when I ask this question. Was Tim Duncan the best power forward for the first half of the 2000s?
Yeah.
Was he the best power forward, or did he have the better team?
Nah, he was the best power forward. I love KG too, but Tim was, and I mean, and KG got off, and Tim's team wasn't better than KG's team, but
Mar, you saying no? Mar said he wasn't the best power forward for the first half of the 2000s.
Then who was then?
KG.
It better be KG.
And what did he say? He said the KG.
And again, I won't even have an argument because KG's numbers line up. KG plays both ends of the floor, just like Tim played both ends of the floor. I'd have no argument. The only thing you're going to separate them is that Tim's team was better. That's the only thing you're going to say.
I agree.
That's the only thing you're going to say. That's the same thing when people be like, Dirk was better than KG. Was Dirk really better than KG, or was Dirk's team just better than KG? I mean, the Mavericks are a much better organization than the Timberwolves. Have been, probably always will be at this juncture. But people are going to pick Dirk over KG.
I think the reason that we put Timmy as the GOAT at power forward again is his rings and the leadership. He did say, Timon said Timmy. He said Timmy. But the reason I put Dirk is because Dirk won it with, I'm not saying that he didn't have no bodies because he had players, you know what I mean? But he brought that Euro ball to he was a 7-footer. Yeah, I mean, he was something different. Yeah, I mean, and he won. So I think that's why a lot of people put him ahead of KG, ahead of a lot of power forwards, because he does have that championship. But as an overall talent on both ends, this is a speak on it first. As an overall talent, KG is the best power forward I've ever seen as an all-around talent. Hands down. Scoring wise, defensive, guarding 1 through 5. Poke a hole in KG game.
You can't.
There's no hole. You can't poke a hole in this game.
The only thing is you can probably say he can't hit the three, but that's only because they shoot threes at an alarming clip at this juncture of basketball. But back then you didn't have to shoot the three. So
I can poke
that's
a
the
hole
only
in
hole.
every other power forward game.
What's Tim Duncan? What hole you poking in Tim Duncan game?
Could Tim guard 1 through 5?
But he didn't have to. Like
he didn't have to.
I feel like that to me. If you can guard your position, that's all that should matter.
I got you.
Now makes you better versatile if you can guard multiple positions. But as long as you can guard your position, I really could care less.
And like you said, listen, this is what I'll say real quick about Timmy. I wanted to say it when we was talking about him being the GOAT. I remember KG punched my man in the back of his head. Talking that talk. Tim Duncan went to work on him after that. He had to say nothing.
Again, I think it's a picture that they did like a photo shoot where like Tim is just standing there calm and like KG is like yelling like right there beside his head. It's just the different personalities of the two. You know what I mean? But KG's only issue is that he got drafted by Minnesota, man.
Yep.
That was it.
James said this, and we'll then we can get to this mock, and then we can talk about the social stuff. James said this, right? Tim Duncan didn't average 30 in the game, wasn't because he couldn't, because he understood. He understood the team that it was around. That's what made him great for me. It wasn't that he couldn't average 30, because he couldn't stop him.
He sacrificed his game for the betterment of the team. So you can't knock him for that.
Yeah. So yeah, Kobe and Tim Duncan, to me, are the GOATs of the 2000s.
See,
and you got I got to throw somebody else in there too. I mean, listen, you can throw Shaq in. The 2000s was just legit.
The only reason I was gonna say Shaq is because of that dominance from 2000 really to 2004 was unlike anything we had ever witnessed before. Now, granted, that's only a short span because you still got a whole nother half of the decade, but that was just crazy. It was something we've never seen before.
I'm gonna throw another name out there, then we can move on. I'm gonna just throw it out there. AI. All right. AI
is not a good in the 2000s, man. I love Bubba Chuck. I love Bubba Chuck too, man. But he's not good.
He's
a scorer. He's I think he's probably the greatest scorer of the 2000s.
Yeah, he's not good, but his impact was crazy. All right, let's get to these mock. Listen, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got a couple trades in my mock. I don't know how you did it, John, but I got a couple trades in there. I just wanted to do it based off of what I think will happen. Starting number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. I think that's a full. If you don't got Trevor Lawrence on your mock, Biv, you know something. You got insiders.
I mean, Urban Meyer pretty much said that's who he was picking it.
That's why I'm going there.
That's why I'm going. That's why I went there too. Urban Meyer pretty much said, "Man, this is like there's no drama surrounding this number 1 pick. We're going with Trevor." So yeah, Trevor.
Yeah. My number 2, Zach Wilson, the Jets. Thursday, Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson is not a Jet, I would be shocked. So I got Zach Wilson as the number 2 overall pick.
They're the Jets. I will not be shocked. But I'm also with you. I got Zach Wilson going to the Jets.
My number 3 is where it gets tricky. I know there's a lot of talk. People talking about Mac Jones being the guy. To mine, I got you back to mine. They are not taking Mac Jones with the number 3 pick. They're taking Trey Lance with the number 3 pick. That's why they went to his pro day. That's why they ran his pro day. They understand his talent. They know that if I pick Mac Jones, I'm just picking a better version of Jimmy Garoppolo.
A potential better version.
Right, a potential better version of Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'm picking Matt Ryan all over again. That's not an upgrade to me.
Now, let me ask this question real quick because I was some thinking.
To mine, no, he did not. He did, but he didn't coach him, so it's not his guy.
Now I got him going. I got Mac Jones going to the Niners. I just got a feeling that's what they're going to do. But what if they tricking us? What if they really moved up to get Kyle Pitts to pair with George Kittle in that offense? I was just thinking it. Like, what if they fooling us? What if they just keeping everybody off of the Kyle Pitts smoke train, and they're like, man, we're moving up to get Kyle. We could use another dynamic playmaker, and think about that offense where you can line up your tight ends on the outside, both of them, and move your outside receivers to the slot. Like, they could do a lot. I just was throwing it out there, but I got him taking Mac. Anywho, you be happy if they take Kyle Pitts, but I got him taking Mac Jones.
I think it'd be a dumb move, but Kyle Pitts to me he's a generational talent, man. To me, he is. I think I've been saying it for a minute and more on here. I think I've been saying it. He's the best player in this draft, ahead of Trevor. Trevor Trevor plays at the quarterback position. Kyle Pitts is a generational talent. If anybody takes him, everybody can legit make a case as to why they took Kyle Pitts. Everybody.
Absolutely.
All right, here go the first big trade in my mock. New England jumps up from 15 to 4 to get Justin Fields. They get Justin Fields. They got to go get their guy.
I got New England moving up to 4, but I got them moving up to 4 to get Trey Lance because I got Mac Jones going to San Fran. You got Trey Lance going to San Fran, but I got New England moving up to get Trey Lance.
Gotcha. Tomas said, he said no to Mac Jones. He said, yeah, the Kyle Pitts. Listen, I got a feeling, bro, that's where you're going to be. It's going to be Mac Jones. I'm sorry.
I got a feeling you're going to be screaming no at the screen on Thursday.
I think here's where it got tricky for me. My number 5, the Bengals. I got them going Jamar. I know everybody wants them to go the offensive lineman. But for me, what's just as important as an old lineman, I think this offensive lineman class is deep, is to get continuity with a guy. And I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase set records together. He's been beating his chest for him, beating the table for him. I think that's where he goes. They take Jamar Chase in the first round, and then they get the offensive lineman in the next round.
I can see that, but for me, I think it's more important to solidify that O line and take the Sewell kid from
Okay. I got you.
From Oregon. So that's where I got him. But I'm with you. I think that getting Jamar to play with his college quarterback in the NFL, and they just was last time they was together, they was winning the national championship. So I can definitely see them, and I wouldn't mind that pick. But I think seeing the injury, you better make sure that you get the best offensive lineman that you can get, and I feel like you just you take that lineman now.
Understood, brother. Number 6. This is where I know a lot of people are penciling him in here, which I'm gonna have him here too. But it's based off of what I think people will do, and that's Kyle Pitts to the Dolphins at number 6. But for me, what makes more sense is what I just said. The same thing about Jamar Chase is getting to one of his guys, which either be Jalen or Devontae. But I do have Kyle Pitts at number 6 because I don't think you can pass up on that talent.
I'm with you on that. Again, I'm with you, but I'm a firm believer of solidifying your offensive line when you got an opportunity. But I'm also a big guy on getting offensive weapons when you got an opportunity. So I gotta take a Devontae at 6.
That makes perfect sense, man. Perfect sense. Number 7, Lions. Here's where I go with you. What you said. You got to protect. You have to protect Jared Goff. Have to. He ain't that guy that if you don't give him protection, he needs it. Yeah, he needs it. Play calling needs protection. I got Penei Sewell going to the Lions. Going to the Lions.
I really didn't know where to go with the Lions. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I really didn't. And because he was the best player available, I said Kyle Pitts was going to the Lions because I felt like he was the best player available on the board, and that offense. We just seen Matt Stafford put up numbers with that offense, but that offense isn't that good. And Jared Goff, he's not gonna go out there. He's not Matt Stafford. He's not gonna go out there and put up numbers with a trash offense. So you're gonna need some weapons.
You need everything.
Go get Kyle Pitts at 7.
Yeah, if you can get Kyle Pitts 7, you go get him. I got another trade here. I actually got the Cowboys jumping ahead of Denver for the Carolina pick, and I got them taking Patrick Surtain.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that.
You think they're gonna have to move up to get Patrick Surtain?
I think they can't be sure, and I think that they know that they want him, and I think that they're gonna if they don't know what Denver is gonna do. maybe Denver takes Patrick Surtain. So I think that they got to get in front of Denver to get their guy. That's my thought. Because listen, Denver got Vic Fangio. He like defense. And I don't think that the quarterback that's there, in this case, in my opinion, is going to be Mac Jones. I don't think that Mac Jones and I think Drew Lock is still young enough to where you can develop him.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to get a quarterback, it would be a vet, they wanted to get a Russell Wilson. They were in those type of quarterbacks talks. I don't think taking a rookie would be wise for Denver, in my opinion. I think you need health with Drew Lock, and you also need all his weapons to be healthy.
I'm with you. I think I'm not sure. For Denver, I think they have a solid. I think that offensively, the weapons that they have and everything, I think they're solid. I think they do need a quarterback, but
I think they do too.
I just don't think you can't just keep drafting one and hoping that you finally get the right one. That's where I'm at with it. Like, you continue to keep drafting and missing. So it might be time to try to find a trade somewhere with someone if you can get a trade somewhere.
I agree with you there. What's your who you got at your Panthers pick?
Panthers. I got them taking Jamar Chase.
That'd be a great move. Great move.
I got them taking Jamar.
Number 9, Denver. I got Denver taking Slater, tackle from. Actually, no, I don't. I'm lying. That's what I got the Panthers taking. Denver, I got them taking Michael Parsons, linebacker, Penn State.
I'm with you. That's who I got them taking as well.
Number 10, Panthers. I got them going Rashawn Slater, offensive lineman, Northwestern. You got to solidify that. You got to listen. You got to protect Sam Darnold.
I'm with you. I got the Cowboys still at 10, and I got them taking
Patrick
Surtain at 10.
They get their guys staying where they are. Giants. I actually got them solidifying the offensive line. So I got them going Christian Darrisaw to get bookends offensive line.
I got the Giants taking Rashawn Slater from Northwestern, the tackle from Northwestern.
My Philadelphia Eagles, I got them getting Jalen Waddle. Most explosive player in the draft. They need a playmaker. I got them getting Jalen Waddle.
Same here. I got them taking Jalen Waddle at 12.
This work get crazy because I got the Chargers and they need offensive linemen, but the offensive linemen are gone. I think that they also need a corner. So for me, I got them taking J.C. Horn at the 13th spot.
I got them taking Christian Darrisaw from the tackle from Virginia Tech at 13. They need the offensive line. You need to make sure that I don't think they need much, but you need to make sure that the guy behind under center is gonna be upright.
I agree.
But they do not need much.
I agree.
If guys can stay healthy, they don't need much.
Minnesota pick. I got Minnesota taking a pass rusher, and I got them taking the kid out of Georgia. I don't know how to pronounce my man's name. AZ, that guy, linebacker from the edge rusher from Georgia. They need a pass rusher, especially with what's the name saying that he might hold out. Daniel Hunter. They need a pass rusher.
I'm with you. I think they do need pass rusher, but I went with the interior lineman. I went with Christian Barmore from Alabama.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Atlanta
I know
Falcons.
one thing. We got Justin Fields falling right now.
No, you got Justin Fields falling. I got Justin Fields going. I got Justin Fields going forward. I got Mac Jones falling. And actually,
That's in a dreamland. Bill Belichick is not drafting Justin Fields. He is not drafting a project quarterback. He's not doing it. He's already got a project quarterback that he's promising money to. No, he's not picking another Cam. He's not picking Cam Newton 2.0.
actually, and it was crazy. In my first mock, I actually had a trade. With the Giants. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go my other mock. I actually had Chicago trading up for the Giants to get Mac Jones. But when I was sitting here thinking about it, I was like, if they sat tight, they could probably move up, which you'll see in this mock draft and during this mock draft. But my original, I had them jumping up to the Giants. But let's go to keep going. Falcons, number 15. I got them getting defensive help, and I got them going taking the Joker, Jeremiah Owusu, whatever his name is, from Notre Dame.
I got him taking
You got New England. Oh no,
Trayvon Mohard or Morag, or whatever how you pronounce it, from TCU.
Oh, the safety.
The safety.
Yeah,
I got them. I got the Falcons taking him.
That's a big get, especially because they just lost both their safeties. Here's where it get crazy. The Cardinals, rich get richer. They get Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith to go along with those weapons.
That's scary. That's scary. But I got him taking Rashad Bateman. So
that's scary too.
That's scary too. So
the Las Vegas Raiders. They need a pass rusher. They also need a corner. Here I got them taking the corner, and I got them going Greg Newsome.
I got him going corner as well. I got him taking a JC Horn.
So. All right, here's where my trade go. I got Chicago trading with Miami to jump Washington to get their quarterback, to get Mac Jones. Again, I think Mac Jones gets picked in the top 10. But for my mock, I think that this is where they get their guy. And I think that Chicago needs to jump in front of Washington to get their guy, and they take Mac Jones.
I'm with you on that one. I don't disagree with that at all. But I got the Dolphins staying put at 18, and they got a receiver earlier in the round, so this time they go with the offensive line help, and they get Vera Tucker from USC to tackle.
Gotcha. All right, Washington, number 19. I got them taking. Where did I have them taking? Oh, I got them getting linebacker. Kentucky 6'4" boy, middle linebacker, Jamin Davis, to add to that already stout front seven. I mean, it pissed me off because that's the team I got to go up against. But yeah, they get a stud.
I got Justin Fields coming off the board and going to Washington. So
Only makes sense.
The football
It's me.
team gets their quarterback. The football team gets their quarterback, and just because people are still in the mindset of the 1960s and 70s and the 80s, Justin Fields falls down in the draft just because of that. So,
Gotcha. Miami. Okay, Tua didn't get his guy. And he didn't get hit one of his guys that he played with and with the 6th pick, but he got a monster. But he got his guy with the 20th pick. That's Najee Harris.
That's tough. That's tough. At 20, I got the Bears still there, and they need a quarterback, but there's none available at this point unless you're gonna really, really reach. So I got them taking the best player that's available, and that's the linebacker from Notre Dame.
Joke. That's the Bears.
Yep, and that's what they do. They'll draft defense, even though
my God, Woo.
that's what they'll do. So that's where I got them.
They added to a loaded team, a loaded defense. The Colts give my man Carson some help. They lost their tackle, Anthony Costanzo. Bring in another tackle. Bring in Samuel Cosme, whatever his name is, the tackle from Texas. Plug and play. That's what the Colts do. They get offensive linemen. They build offensive linemen. They got a great offensive line already. Let's add to it and bring in Samuel Cosme from Texas.
I like that. I got them going tackle as well, but I got them taking Walker Little from Stanford.
Good pick. Tennessee defense was terrible last year, and they released like 4 or 5 starters. So they got to rebuild. Couldn't get to the pass. Couldn't get to the quarterback. So for me, that's what they need to do. I got them getting Kwity Paye, University of Michigan. My man to mine. There you go. There goes some love. Kwity Paye to the Tennessee Titans.
I got them going defense as well, but I got them taking a corner. I got them taking Greg Newsome from Northwestern.
Good move. Good pick. So the Jets, they need weapons. They need defense. They need a lot of things. For me, you have to surround Zach Wilson with weapons. So you get him Travis Etienne.
Interesting.
2 picks before his guy.
That's interesting. I got the Jets going defense, getting the pass rusher, and I got them taking a Kwity Paye from Michigan.
Good stuff. Steelers, they're gonna be trash this year. Just want to say it out there right now. But they got to rebuild. So for me, they got to start with the offensive lineman. And that for me, they need Creed Humphrey, especially with their their guy retiring and Pouncey. So I got them going Creed Humphrey.
I was torn. I really was, because they need a lot. They need a lot, and I was like, will they be the team being that low in the first round? Will they reach to grab a guy that could potentially be a second rounder? And I say yes. And I got the Steelers reaching to the second round to take your boy.
Kyle Trask.
To take Kyle.
Well, He looked like a Steeler. Big. Yeah. That's a reach. But I'm with you. That's something that they could do. To replace Ben. I can see that. Jacksonville Jaguars, I got them going. TCU safety, Trayvon Moore, whatever his name is. Got him going safety.
Jacksonville. They don't really need a lot in my opinion. They just need some guys to just play better. But I got them taking the tackle from Oklahoma State, Tevin Jenkins.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Build an offensive line up.
Yeah, they definitely build some the offensive line, protect the future. Number 26, I got the winners of the offseason. They need a linebacker. I got them Zaven Collins, solidifying that front four or that front seven.
The Browns, I got them taking what is it? Jason Owe, something like that. Is that
yep.
From Penn State. I got them taking him at 26.
So before the trade happened yesterday, I redid my joint. Before the trade happened yesterday, I had the Ravens taking a wide receiver right here at 27. After the trade, I got them taking Jason Owe, Penn State, because they need a pass rusher.
I have the Ravens taking I guess what is it? Aziz from Georgia. I can't pronounce his name. AZ. Like we'll take that AZ from Georgia.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good move. Raw. Saints. I got them going corner. I got them going Caleb Farley. If Mark watching, I'm pissed because I love Caleb Farley. I hope he falls in the second round. But with all the corner sets that's dropping, I'm going ahead. I got the Saints taking that flyer on Caleb Farley.
Ditto. I got the Saints taking Caleb Farley as well.
All right. Here's where it gets crazy. Tough. Green Bay. What do they need? I think the needs are obvious. Need a wide receiver. The thing is, Green Bay never takes wide receivers in the first round. But I think this year it changes. Another pick that pissed me off because I wanted him to go in the second round as well. I got Green Bay taking Terrence Marshall Jr. to pair with Devontae Adams.
Only because, given their history, that's the pick that you should make. But given the Packers' history, that's not the pick that they will make. So I got them taking a wide receiver, though. But I got them taking Rondale Moore from Purdue.
Let me tell you something. If they get Rondale Moore from Purdue to go with that team, explosive, bro. Explosive. The Buffalo Bills, I got them taking pass rusher as well. I got them taking Jordan Phillips out of Miami.
Ditto. I got them take same pick.
All right. I got Baltimore picking this pick. I know when I sent it out to you, the Chiefs still had this pick, but I just redid it, so I get Baltimore taking this pick, and I got Baltimore taking Rashad Bateman.
I got them going wide receiver as well, even though I don't think they're going to go wide receiver. I think they are truly sold on their wide receivers. So, I got them taking Terrence Marshall Jr. from LSU.
All right, and final pick of the first round, Um, the um, the Bucks, to me, they don't need anything. So to me, this could be a reach pick. And with this pick, I got them taking Kellen Mond as the sixth quarterback drafted in the first round. Kellen Mond.
I got the Bucks taking Asante Samuel Jr. just to, you can never have too many corners in this pass happy league. So
Yeah, that'd be scary. That's scary. All right, that is speak on the first ever mock draft. Love it. Tell me what y'all would have did different, where y'all would have did different. I'll try to see if we can draw it up and get it posted, whatever, before Thursday. Let's talk about some serious stuff before we close out. We had the trial, the verdict that happened this week in the Derek Chauvin's case. Let's talk about let's start with that. Thoughts, feelings on it. I give my thoughts and feelings on it. I'm glad that they came down with a verdict that was conducive to what we all saw, right? But I was telling my wife, I feel like this is one of those ones where they just gave us, right? And it's one of the ones that they had to give us, in my opinion, because you can't justify it. The police department can't justify it. He had his knee on my man's neck for 10 minutes. There's nothing in their training that says that they can cover that up. Nothing in their training that says that they can cover that up. You know what I mean? So I'm elated that the verdict came down as guilty. But I'm also was like uneasy because I'm like, they just gave it. This is one they just gave to us. Because as that was going on, other two people we want to talk about, we had my man Dante, I forget his last name. Dante Wright, getting shot in the same city by a police officer who's been on the force for 26 years. Who don't know the difference between her service pistol and a taser, apparently. And I think that she resigned. I don't know if she got fired. I think she resigned. After 26 years, she was probably on her way out anyway. And I guarantee that if she wanted to come back to another place of law enforcement, she'll be able to get another job.
Mm-hmm.
So, while again, I'm elated that the verdict came down as guilty. I am still uneasy because again, it's like as this is going on, there is another man in the same city getting murdered during the trial. And it's like it got justified. I saw a post came out said that this isn't the first time that somebody mistaken their service the taser for or the service for a taser. Happened like 4 other times. And I was like,
how?
Like you said, how?
One, they normally are two different colors. They are definitely two different weights. That goes without question. But first, let me get to the Derek Chauvin thing. For me, this was a slam dunk case. Like anything other than what we got would have been ridiculous. But I don't really care. My thing is sentencing. What is this judge going to sentence him? Getting the guilty verdict is a great thing. You know what I mean? It's a step in the right direction. But we keep forgetting that that's not the justice system. That's not the end of the justice system. There's still a sentencing part of the justice system. Because I remember I was thinking about Natasha, the girl from LA back in, I think it was like 91, something like that, 92. The Korean lady killed her. She was found guilty, but the judge felt as though she wasn't a threat to society, so she didn't serve any time.
Mm.
Not any time that was equivalent to the crime that she committed. So the sentencing part still has to happen, and then that will be justice for George Floyd and his family. But there's still us still around here in America that still are going to have to still fight the same fight every day. So the fight isn't done. This is our this is one grain of sand on the beach. That's all this was. It was one grain of sand on the beach. We still have so much more to take care of. But the guilty verdict, it was clear cut. I don't understand how, for real, I don't even understand how he got this far. He should have pled guilty and not even went to trial. Save the taxpayer some money. But
listen,
here we are.
Yeah, I was asking my wife. I said, "Man, do you think they gave us one and took three?" And I said about it, just all the ones that we're talking about today. And there's been plenty more. I mean, that has been taken. I mean, I'm just talking about the ones that we talk about today. Yeah, the Derek Chauvin, like I said, man, it was no way to me that they can cover that up. So, like you said, it was a slam dunk case. No way they can cover that up. Science says that that he should have known just that by the weight that he was putting on his neck. Like, even when that man was dead for, I mean, already dead, they still kept his foot on his neck, his knee on his neck for 4 minutes after that. Like, this was a slam dunk case. So I'm with you. The sentencing is going to be crazy. I thought it could be up to 75 years in prison. I thought that's one of the things reports that I read. And one of them carried the one that we want to hit him with. I mean, is the one that carries up to 40 years in prison. So we'll see. Yeah. So let's talk about, like I said, Dwayne Wright, John. I want your thoughts on that. I talked about it a little bit, but what's your thoughts on that going on?
That's the young man that was shot by the police officer that mistaken the taser and a gun. To me, that situation is just it's just ridiculous to think about. You know, how do you as an officer for 26 years not know the difference between your taser and your gun? That's the only question. That's the only question, and it's no one's gonna give a logical answer. They're not. So this young man is dead because of her negligence. I don't care if she meant to do it or not. Her negligence caused his death. So she's guilty. It's just that simple. Again, this should be a slam dunk case, and the evidence is there. Even if you hear her say it in the tape. Oh, I thought it was my taser. Well, it wasn't. So your negligence led to his death. To me, this is no different than a surgeon messing up on a table and killing somebody. Did he mean to do it? No. What we can never do, we can't judge her intent. We don't know the intent. We don't know if she intentionally meant to shoot him. We don't know if it was a mistake or not. We don't know that. Only thing we can judge is what happened, and what happened was a mistake. And that's at the bare minimum that it was a mistake. So we can't get inside of her mind and know whether or not she meant to do it or not. We just know that she did it. So at the end of the day, at worst, it's just negligent. It's a negligent homicide, and she needs to be held accountable for it. So it needs to be taken care of. Again, this is another case to me that should be a slam dunk, open and shut case. It should not be drawn out.
So I agree with you on judging her tent, but it don't mean that we're not going to, especially in the climate that we live in. One of the things that popped in my mind when you was talking, when you said 26 years, right? Anybody who's an athlete or have been working on that job for a long period of time, there's this thing called muscle memory, where you just do things because you've been doing them for so long. When you said 26 years, which means that listen to the first detainee she has had. This isn't the first time she's drawn her service weapon. This isn't the first time of any of those things. She's been doing this for 26 years. And again, I'm not judging. Again, I don't know this woman. So like you said, I can't judge her intent or anything like that. But just in the climate that we live in, just off of muscle, just playing sports and working on a job for a long time, you do things. Sometimes you just do things just muscle memory. This is how I do it. I come in, I check everything, I handle everything I need to handle. I've been doing it for so long.
Yep.
That day, your muscle memory didn't.
It let you down. They let you down. So again, and that's only because we can't get us out of her mind to know, like, if she was saying, I'm going to shoot him. I want to shoot him. We don't know that because she kept saying, I'm going to tase you. I'm going to tase you. But you didn't pull the taser.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Like you said, man, it's all conspiracy, stuff like that, man. It just in the climate that we live in is just crazy. But like you said, if I'm not mistaken, and we got cops that friends that watch the show who've been on the show as well. You know what I mean? It's to my knowledge that they're on two different sides. I don't know if that's for every department.
One is at worst, it's in maybe more towards the front. Just the taser is going to be more towards the front. If it's not on the direct opposite side of your dominant hand, usually your pistol is going to be on the side of your dominant hand. Your right handed is going to be on your right side. Your left handed is going to be on your left side. And then the taser is usually somewhere either close to the middle or to the opposite side. So, again, that's why you were talking about muscle memory. You done pulled that gun more times you done pulled that taser. And so,
yeah.
And that's why it makes it everything that all the arguments that you can make for her defense is mistake. That's it. But that's still negligent.
Mm-hmm.
Her job is to know where everything is. That's part of her job is to know where everything is and know that she's supposed to pull the taser or the gun and when to use it, where to use it, how to use it. That's part of her job description. She needs to know that. So even if it was a mistake, she was still negligent and should be held accountable for it. You can't make the argument that I don't understand how anybody can point fault into him because, like, did he run? Yeah, he ran. But what we have to start understanding is the environments that people live in. If you have been harassed by the police your entire life, you avoid them. I don't commit crimes, but guess what? When I was younger, and I seen the police come through the neighborhood, I moved because I didn't want to deal with them. And yes, sometimes I ran, even though I wasn't committing any crime at the time. I just didn't want to deal with them because you didn't know how I was gonna go. You didn't. So yeah, you run, and that's just unfortunately the same way her drawing her gun was muscle memory. Us seeing the police and running when we see them is muscle memory. It is what we have been doing our entire lives. We avoid the police at all costs. So that's just what he was. That's just what he was doing. That didn't mean that he needed to be shot and killed just because he was running from the police at that particular time. Like we got to stop. We got to stop doing that.
I'm glad you brought that up, bro. Glad you said that because, like you said, to this day, muscle memory, bro. I am legit anybody know my wife? She worked for lawyers, stuff like that. She ain't gonna let me not be legit. You know what I mean? She gonna do it. She do stuff by the book. You know what I mean? So, like, legit is all get out, bruh. Make sure we insurance everything good. You know what I mean? She don't care. I'm like, babe, listen, we only need liability coverage. You know what I mean? We only need liability coverage. No, the
Full
law
coverage.
say we need full, we get full coverage. You know what I mean? So I ain't got no problem with where I don't have to worry about police because I know I'm good with everything. But like you said, muscle memory. When I see a policeman, I'm out of his way. He pull up behind me, you still get nervous. Bruh, I used to mirror watch.
I still do.
Very I
still do.
very weird mirror watch.
I'll detour if the police get behind me. I'm like, oh man, I'm just trying to see if he's gonna follow me or not. I'm going out of my way. I'm taking the scenic route right now because I just want this cop from behind me. That's just the relationship that I have with the police. Never been arrested. I've never even been in handcuffs. Never not once. I've been in the back of a police car once, and that's because I was in an accident and they had to give me a ride home. That's it. But I've been detained on multiple occasions. I've been pulled out of my car. It had dogs go all through my car on multiple occasions. I've been walking down the street and had them ask for my ID for no reason. I'm just walking down the street. So that's the relationship that most black people have with the police. It's one of basically harassment. So when you see them, you're just trying to avoid them.
Get out of the way.
Even when you're not doing anything.
Listen, you want to talk about, and then again, we'll talk about the last one, but I've been wrongfully arrested. Wrong identity, wrong person.
Yep.
I think I was held there a day. Wrong person. Went to the court, something like that. Realized it was the wrong person. Case thrown out. But I'm with you, man. Like those fears. Like I'm not just talking from. Yeah, I mean what I see. Like it's happened to me. These things happen to me. Wrong person, wrong identity. Like you said, get pulled over for stuff like that. Like
yeah, man, held in question for 45 minutes to an hour on his corner because you fit the description, and the description is vague as all day. Talk about a black male with a white t-shirt and blue jeans. That's everybody out here, bro. But you get ready to literally stop it. Everybody, like at that point in time, there was very few black men that did not wear blue jeans and a white t-shirt. And that was the description. That was the only description that they had of the suspect that they were looking for. A black male with blue jeans and a white t-shirt. It was literally everybody in the hood.
I want to say this though, because we're talking about cops, and I always want to preference this by saying I've had good cops also who've seen my license, bruh. Your license suspended. I'm gonna take this. Go ahead, drive your car home, but make sure you go get your stuff good. So, as much as I say I'm fearful of being pulled over by wrong cops, I've also been pulled over knowing I was in the wrong, and they still let me go.
Yeah, police is no different than any other profession. You're gonna have good ones and you're gonna have bad ones.
So, yep. Now let's get to the hot one, the hot topic right now. Yeah, I mean, because it's the latest one. I forget how to pronounce it. Ma'Khia Bryant.
Ma'Khia, something like that.
Ma'Khia Bryant. Two different stories I've heard. I've heard one story. That's why when I first said that we should talk about it, then you start enlightening on some of the things that's actually happened. It was to my recollection that she was being jumped, and she had a knife to defend herself. And it was to my recollection that she was the one that actually called the cops because she was being jumped. Regardless of, situation, everything like that, or whatever happened, there's another black teen that's killed by a white cop. And for you, from your standpoint of it, I definitely get it and understand it. guy didn't have enough information, and he made a judgment call on, you know what I mean, one life or another. You know what I mean? And I'll let you talk about it. You know what I mean? But I definitely get it from your standpoint, your viewpoint on what you stand.
For me, there's so many layers. There's so many layers to this one particular story. But for me, the cop himself, I don't have any fault with him. My fault is with the training that he's received, and I think, and also how we handle stuff here in the black community. Man, I'm gonna say it. Whatever. I'm gonna say it because that situation. When you look at the video and you see all of those adults out there, and these were teenagers, right? Because she was supposed. I've heard another story where she was supposedly fighting other siblings or something that live in the house about cleaning or something. I don't know, but regardless, there was enough adults out there that situation, even with the police being called, could have been handled. Now, this also goes towards the police. The police need to do a better job of building relationships within the community so that way when they get called, they have people out there that are on their side because they have that relationship. Because not all cops are bad and not all black people hate cops. It's just not true. If you can meet a good cop and you can build a relationship and a rapport with him, do it. But they don't. There's very few people that have relationships with cops in the black community. So that cop pulls up. All hell is breaking loose out there. He looks up and he sees a girl going towards another person with a big knife. Now, he can sit there and say, well, I'll see if she's going to use it first and then do something, or he can do what he did. That's a judgment call. Tough call to make, but he had to make it. Now, why shoot 4 times? You can question that. And then I hear people talking about shoot her in the leg, use the taser.
It's not a train.
They're not trained to shoot limbs. I asked the question yesterday on Facebook. How many people go to the gun range and actually shoot at arms and legs when they're at the gun range? Nobody. Who shoots at who practices on shooting somebody to slow them down? You're training yourself to shoot to kill.
Yep.
Center mass headshot. That's what you practice. So when he pulls that gun to use it, he's looking to put somebody down. If he has to use it. But again, I don't blame him. It's the training, man. They're trained to shoot to kill, and they're trained not through their police training, but through their life. They're trained to be scared of black people. So when he showed up and all these black people getting rowdy and fighting and all of that, he was scared. He was scared. I'm not sure how many other police officers were out there or whatever, but he was scared. He made a split-second decision. Unfortunately, the young lady lost her life. It's sad, you know what I mean? But again, there's so many layers to this, but I don't blame that cop himself. I blame the training that he's received, and they've got to do better.
I agree with you, training wise. Here's my thing. Something you talked about that I think that's super important, and people always say, "Well, how come they can detain active shooters, but they shoot us?" And it's basically what you said, right? It's they see somebody who look like them. The active shooter, 9 times out of 10, isn't trying to shoot the people that look like him either. Isn't trying to kill the people that look like him either. Most of the time, in most cases. So I just think that in that case, is what you said. We need to build better relationships with the community, but we also need to put people in the community who look like us. That's just what it is. Yeah, I mean, who understand what it's like to be black. Yeah, I mean, so that way when I enter into a hood that looks like me, I'm not fearful. You know what I mean, but I also have these relationships with these people. Like you said, I think that the thing that happened with all these things, every single last one of them, if it was somebody who looked like them, and if it was relational, all these things can be avoided. The Wayne, not the Wayne, the Devontae Wright situation that could be avoided. And we've had I forget the two cops' names, but we had two cops on our show. They have relationships in the hood. They seen like people who in the hood who doing crazy things. They have those relationships with them, so where they can come talk to them because they understand. Dante Wright, they had to die if you have a relationship with them. Kid Bryant, I don't think if it's a relationship with the police officers, you're not dying. And the George Floyd thing, same thing. Relationships. I watch Snowfall a lot. That's my show right now. That's my twist right now. And Andre, he grew up in the hood, grew up in the in the area that he policing. Now he got the beef with Franklin, but you still see that you still see this as a relationship, still a relationship there.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's one of the things about policing is you go to see the doctor, you have a relationship with that doctor, you get to deal with them one on one. The police, you don't get that. You don't get to build a relationship with them. And I know that certain towns, I heard certain towns that are trying to get more cops on foot to walk around through neighborhoods more versus just patrolling around in cars. We'll see how it works. We'll see how it works. But also, just being real, just being real. A lot of people, we gotta do better. We gotta do better, man. We gotta do better. We as a community should have been able to control that situation. That situation should have never. The police should have gotten there just just to make sure everybody got home safely. That was it. But that situation, we should have been able to control it right there in our community. We've got to do better of policing our own community as well.
And as the show, my final thought is just off of that, what you just said. If we want to stop seeing, and again, this is probably unpopular final thought what I'm about to say, but if we want to stop seeing stuff like this happen in our communities, like Bill said, we gotta do better. We gotta do better with police in our communities. And I'm not saying that that's going to stop racism. I'm not saying that it's going to stop police from profiling or anything like that. But let's stop teaching our kids that all the police officers are bad. Stop doing that. Let's stop saying that. And again, I know it's 2021. Yeah, I mean, just anybody ain't gonna be out here being able to discipline my kids. But that's when the relationship piece comes in. We gotta have a relationship with our community as well, and the Black community. We have to have a relationship with our community, so that way we are able to police ourselves before we even call police officers. I guarantee if it was a relationship thing with Ma'Khia Bryant, police officers didn't even have to be called. In my opinion, I don't think the police officers had to be called. That's something that we could have handled in-house. Especially in this climate, we know how things happen. So,
yeah,
that's my final thought, man. We got to get better in our communities.
Yep. My final thought is just do better. Just more accountability within the Black community, man. We too many times we had the mindset of not my child, not my problem. And at some point It might not be your child and your problem at that point, but it may be, or it may be a cousin, niece, nephew, sister. It could be anybody. I just feel like the black community, not as a whole, but certain parts of it, we've become selfish and we worried about just our own selves, and rightfully so. That is important, but we also got to remember that everybody else is fighting the same struggle that you're fighting, and sometimes they just need a little bit of a pickup, man. So look out for one another, man. Do better, man. Do better, people. Do better. We got to do better.
All right, I'm lying. I got one more final thought. And it's my man birthday weekend. He about to be 30. Yeah, I mean, so
I wish.
His birthday on Monday, man. So I want to say happy birthday to my guy, Biv.
Appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Enjoy yourself. Don't get in too much trouble, man. You know what I mean, do your thing.
I can't.
But yeah, listen, reach out to my guy. Show him a happy birthday. His birthday on Monday. Of course, we're gonna do our shows on Monday. So by the time we do a show again, it'll be next Saturday, and he won't. His birthday will already been past a whole week. So shout out to my man. Say happy birthday to him. Reach out to him. Show him some love.
Thanks, bro.
Yes, sure.
I am off to soccer.
All right, good, bro.
All right, man.
All right,
Peace.
Bye.
Enjoy your weekend.